The trade package home screen is really the hub of the trade package functionality within SACORA. So we have a main grid of information which identifies which packages we have and the status of those packages. We also have, as we have with most of the products, opportunity to add extra information when it's appropriate. So we're looking here at 4 packages, all of which have items allocated to them. Some of them have been posted, some of them haven't. We can see the posted values. We can see any questions, unpriced items, zero value items, changes in the packages. So they're all interesting, important things that we need to comprehend. It may well be right, but we need to make sure they're right before we actually go to tender settlement. And if we start down here, if we look at notifications, we'll see a notifications pane, very similar to the main grid, but the difference here, and again we can still control all of our different columns that we can see, but the difference here is that we're only seeing packages that have a question mark against them. They have unpriced items, they have zero value, they have changes, etc., etc. We can see here there's only 4 in the main grid. Quite often there's 50 here, different packages, and it's useful to highlight the ones that we need to do some further work on, or at least answer some questions about. We also have an opportunity here to look at the vendors. So if we look at the vendors here, we're on all vendors. So it's showing us each of the trades, the vendors. So we can see here that that particular Manacroft bricklaying declined to quote. So we have their information here. We can see the names of the subcontractors. We can keep notes against them. So this one hasn't returned yet, and we can see that no one's entered the quote against it yet, and someone has chased that information to see when it's back. So we can keep a log of what's happening and how we're progressing that information. If we have postcodes, we can even see a distance from the site to the different subcontractors that we have. Useful for local labour clause, social value information. If we go over here, if we go this way around, we can see the packages. So these are our standard package lists. We don't have to have items in our packages. If we wanted some aerial photography, we could just create a subcontract trade called aerial photography, and we can do things with that. We could send out a quotation. We haven't got any measured items. We just have a lump sum quotation for someone with a plane to come and take some photos. If we look at our vendor location, what we do here is we utilize the postcode of the site, and then we have a number of options that we can see. So if we look at the declined only, what we'll see now is that the people that declined, Manacroft bricklaying, that's where they were. That's their distance from the site. If we look at only the people that we've actually used or posted, now we can see that we've got one here for Ancon Fixings, we've got one here for Brewery Lane Brickwork, and we don't have one for areas or masts because it didn't have a postcode. And if we look at all, now we can see all the subcontractors that we've used on our job, and we can plot a nice map of the location of those things, vendor location. And then finally, trade package values, another monitoring process here. We know aerial masts and flag posts, we could see there, look, there's actually a -1 change. So an item has been removed from the package since the last time it was posted. And we can see here the effect on the value of that is that when we posted it to 6,600, so the difference here between 5,400 is £1,200. So again, we need to understand what's going on here. It might be right, doesn't matter, but it's important for us to understand why it's changed since the last time we posted it. So a number of really important functions, some of which we won't bother to look at until we get much closer to the end of the job. Some of them, like the trade packages, the vendor trade packages, we're actually monitoring our progress. By the time we get to notifications, it's when we're getting close to the end of the job. We want to make sure we haven't missed anything. Trade package values, is everything as we expect it to be? So a very important function within the software, trade package home.